Uh, hey y'all. Uh, I don't know if it's fully up yet. I hope it is. Like I was telling Trevor, I might have a mental breakdown if it doesn't wanna run. I don't know if I can handle that right now. My brain is. Whew. I ran the
Yeah,
autoconfig wizard, so it told me what settings it wanted. So hopefully it gives them.
well, we shall see if this works. We can hope.
I hope.
All looks well.
Uh, and this is. I took the time. Trevor was here with me, watched me almost stress my shit out, and uh uninstalled, reinstalled it, and we should be back, hopefully. I'm sorry about this, y'all. This won't happen. Hopefully, it won't happen next week. Like I said, if this does, I'm gonna send Trevor everything, and he'll host, and we'll just keep on with that.
Just go from there.
Yeah. Ah, Pablo. I forgot.
All right. Well,
Take three. You're right, Hustle. Or Flameser. I'm all over the place. My brain. Can
okay.
you guys tweet the stream out? I'm sorry to keep asking y'all to do this. I'm so utterly sorry. I'm gonna stitch this all together and put it up later, probably tomorrow. I'm sorry, y'all. I want to cry just as much as you guys do right now. My soul is gone. So while my soul is resting in Valhalla, wherever it feels it needs to rest, let's hope it doesn't crash. Knock on wood. And let's get into this list of 25 best Star Wars games of all time. So this came out in 2018, before we had Fallen Order, before Battlefield 2. I can't remember when that came out. I guess we'll see. So there might be some good ones that you think should be on here that are not on here. And it's subjective. Tell us which is your favorite out of these lists, out of the shit, a favorite out of this list. And yeah. Oh god, I hope
Yeah,
it's safe.
definitely let us know what some of your favorite Star Wars games are for sure.
Oh, the first one, Clone Wars. Never played this. This is what is this? This is for the
So,
animated show.
if I remember right, I think I think this might have been the Clone Wars that was because there was a pack in with the original Xbox that was uh Tetris Evolution and Star Wars Clone Wars.
What a combo!
I'm yeah, it's yeah, it was a weird thing, but it came with new original Xboxes, and I'm pretty sure this is the one. If I were to guess right, but I could be wrong on that.
Uh,
But I think I may have owned it and never played it because I don't really remember it at all. I remember Tetris Evolution,
of course.
which was an okay Tetris game. It wasn't even the best Tetris game. Um, that's when THQ was doing Tetris, which was
Nothing
not
beats
the best era.
original Tetris.
No, and there's multiple versions of Tetris that were pretty good. Like I remember some really interesting different ones on like Super Nintendo and whatnot. But this isn't a Tetris show we're doing today, so. But
No.
but yeah, the Clone Wars I don't really remember, so I
Yeah.
don't really have much of a frame of reference for
I
whether it was any good or not.
I've never heard of this one. I don't even think I watched the Clone Wars TV show. No, I don't
I've
remember.
seen I've seen some of it. I need to watch more, um, because I've heard really good things. So
Yeah,
it's
because
supposed to be
they
really good.
brought back like Darth Maul. They did a lot of good things in there, from what I've
Hmm.
heard. What's up, pirate? We back. Knock on
Heck yeah,
wood.
back and at it.
Um, did a full uninstall reinstall. If it crashes again, I think we'll just record the audio. To be honest, and put some video up. I don't know if we can every 15 minutes keep coming back.
Have it crash, yeah.
Uh, but hopefully it holds. Hopefully it's DS. Disney Infinity 3.0. In other words, Disney Infinity games.
Yeah, so I mean, I heard Disney Infinity was great. It was during that era of a whole bunch of uh, toys, toys to life thing where you had Skylanders that started, then you had like Disney Infinity, then you had Lego Dimensions. I think I, I didn't play them. I heard it was good. Just like if you were doing if you were doing one of those games, you were doing one of those games.
Yeah,
I don't think you were going to spend a ton of money to do all of them, because doing one was a money sink
yeah.
already, and my money sink was Lego Dimensions,
Ah,
uh, because you got to also put together Lego. So plus it had a lot of interesting properties that I liked at that point. Like Back to the Future and stuff like that. So yeah, I just ended up not playing it, but from all I heard, it was pretty good.
yeah. I don't see this as not that I don't play family friendly games. I don't see this as being my type of game.
Yeah, I can see that.
Don't get me wrong. I will play. Like I just said before we started. Take three. Uh, I bought one of the Lego Star Wars. I think the Lego. Which one did I get? The Complete
Complete Saga.
Saga. Yeah. So that's which games is that? I don't even know which games are in here.
It's
Probably.
it's all of them. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah. So all six of them are in here. I'm playing through that. I love Lego games, and I would rather spend my money
Yeah,
on a
see,
Lego game.
and that's why I went Lego Dimensions too. Is I had previously played Lego games, so I knew kind of what Lego games were bringing to the table.
They're so good,
So
man.
yeah, they're just a ton of fun. But yeah,
People
Disney
sleep on them.
Infinity. Yeah, the like yeah, I saw a bunch of the figures in stores and stuff, but yeah, just never. But I was never outside of like maybe Star Wars and Marvel. I was never a big Disney guy, so
Yeah,
like it just never.
I can see that.
Yeah, I
Like,
just you know.
like I grew up in the Silver Age, like Pocahontas, Lion King. So I'm partial to them, but the new Disney, I'm not real. I don't watch new Disney stuff um unless it's on Disney Plus or
Yeah, that's
like it's really good and people are like you have to watch it. Other than that, I don't go out of my way.
yeah. I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at. Like the only thing that isn't Marvel or Star Wars that I watch that I've seen on Disney Plus. I've watched all the episodes of that new Mighty Ducks show, and that's just because I have a big nostalgia for the Mighty Ducks movies.
Man, those Mighty Ducks
Because
movies they slap though.
oh, they're still good. Like I don't even care. They're
They're
great.
so cheesy, but they're
And
so good.
yeah, I'm okay with that. Like they can be cheesy. And I like the new show so far. So
Hmm.
it's got a nice good bit of nostalgia, while feeling like a new thing, feeling like a modern show. So
I'm gonna have to
they're doing
watch
good
it.
stuff there.
Huh?
Yeah, it's fun.
I
It's
love
fun, and
getting
it's
suggestions for like old stuff that we used to watch made new because most of them like I won't even watch most reboots of stuff because I'm like nah, like I'm so
mm,
anxious about the Cowboy Bebop reboot that I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna watch it. It could be good, and I hope it's good, but I just don't want to see, especially Cowboy Bebop. That was like my one of my first animes. I don't want to see it be remade. It doesn't need to be remade. Anime, you can literally go in 1,000 different directions. I don't want to see Cowboy
Yeah.
Bebop remade.
Yeah, it seems weird to me to remake an animated show like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because man,
so,
it's so
but
good.
yeah, I would think most animated things would for the most part. Uh, so, but Pirate does say that if you are at all a Disney nerd, watch the Imagineering Project. Uh,
Never heard of it.
which yeah, it's on. I've seen it on Disney Plus. I've just never watched it. Um,
I do like the
so
behind the scenes stuff. Like I've watched the WandaVision behind the scenes
mhm.
probably about 3 times now, just to get references and how they talk about the show. I hope they do. Have
Yeah,
they done a Falcon and Winter Soldier behind the scenes yet?
I think they did one maybe that released. I still need to watch the WandaVision one and that and the
You'll watch it
Mandalorian
before
ones.
Fame does, so don't worry.
Yeah, probably.
I
Uh,
just love that
but
behind the
yeah,
scenes stuff.
yeah, I like a lot of it. It just depends on my mood. Like if I'm in a documentary mood, I will like throw something like that on.
Hmm.
Um, like there's the I think I want to say it's like Marvel 616 maybe. They have the different Marvel docs. Like it's like a basically a series of Marvel docs, and like one of them was about Japanese Spider-Man that's really good, and one of them was about the women behind the comics and Marvel and stuff that was pretty good. So and there's others I just haven't continued watching them, but yeah, there's good stuff there on Disney Plus. So
Yeah. Um. So you're probably seeing there's no blur on the background because you guys know I have two overlays. Uh, I'm gonna see if that background blur that I was using was the problem. It could be, but I don't know. We're gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep a close eye on OBS right now. It's bare bones, nothing hooked up, so I hope it doesn't do me wrong. So that's 24. Disney Infinity 3. I can't imagine what they're on now. If this came out in 2015, so probably Disney Infinity
well
6.
they no they shut it down. They stopped making Disney Infinity stuff. I think 3.0 was the last bit of them.
Oh, that's kind of disappointing for. I mean, we got Funkos now, so I understand the not wanting to build figures and
I
stuff.
I think it was just those games had a certain shelf life, and Skylanders was the popular one.
Yeah,
So they, when you come to the market later than the originator, you're kind of just trying to, I guess, glom off your popularity as a brand, which Disney was. And
yeah.
they were just, they were kind of late to the game in that, and I mean, even Lego Dimensions was late to the game, but at least it was a little bit different because you actually got to build some stuff. But I think they just, they tried to annualize Skylanders, and the
Oh, you
fact
can't
that
do that.
annualizing those when there's a ton of toys that come with it, like parents are gonna get like, I don't think we need to keep buying these
Yeah,
year after year. So
I don't
it
blame
kind
them.
of got to that, and they oversaturated it, just like everything else in video games that gets popular, and then like you see 18 different ones, and then all of a sudden it's not in style anymore. The
Yeah,
kids the kids no longer care, uh, and then you're left with a ton of product on shelves that doesn't move until you discount it, and then fill it with something else, fill it with the next thing.
God, you're not wrong there. I just
Yeah,
figures and stuff like that accompanying that is not like an amiibo is such a weird thing to me.
yeah,
Eh,
and I mean the thing is that, like it very much is like an amiibo at least, but at least with amiibo it's different games
yeah,
that
and they
do different
cross
things.
over and they do all kinds of
Mhm.
things. Yeah,
Yeah, and
Disney, you weird.
yeah, Disney cashed in on that, but yeah, it just didn't work out for Disney in the long run. So
I
what do we
mean,
got? What do we got for number 23 here?
I think we can be honest that Marvel and Star Wars is keeping Disney afloat right now. Oh, the Lego Force
Definitely.
Awake.
Okay.
Not play this one, and I
I haven't
don't think
played it
it's in
either,
that
actually.
pack.
No, it's not. 'Cause I'm pretty sure that complete saga came out before Force Awakens was made, probably.
Yeah,
Uh, so,
I love the Star Wars.
but yeah.
I love Lego games. I love the DC ones, the Marvel ones. They're
Hmm.
so good. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're fun. They're just kind of fun time wasters, honestly.
Honestly, yeah.
Which I'm all for. Like I actually really liked Lego City Undercover.
Ooh, that one
Uh,
was good.
it- yeah, it was really fun. Even the because I want to say back when I was actually doing reviews, I'm pretty sure I reviewed the 3DS version of that game, and it was actually really good. So
Hell yeah. Lego
yeah,
knows what they're
so
doing.
don't sleep on them Lego games.
If you like, sorry, if you like the old school collectathon games, you're gonna love Lego games because, but they're not collectathons that are impossible because there's always that one
Yeah,
thing that you can't get. You can 100% a Lego game in like a week probably.
it's almost like playing a like an old school like side scroller beat 'em up
Hmm.
with like a very light puzzle game aspect to it as well.
Yep.
So because there's definitely light puzzles, although sometimes like like they have simple solutions, and sometimes my mind, I don't know if it's like I think too complexly about it, and then I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? And
You
then
watched me
I look,
struggle playing Control. You're like, just sit down and think about this. You're overthinking. I'm like, no, it's got to be. Oh, you're right.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I think we all do that to an extent. So like I play these games, and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and then I look it up, and I'm like, oh,
Well,
that
dang.
was that was easy. Why didn't I just do that? So
Yeah. And
it
ki-
happens, but it seems like kids catch on to that like super quick,
kids today are different
more
than we
so than
were.
adults.
And don't forget, guys, there is a link in the description. Um, hopefully it's still there. The Humble Bundle. May the Fourth be with you. The link, you can pick it up, pick up whatever game. I am an affiliate, so my charity of choice is the Wikipedia Foundation because we use Wikipedia a lot on this show. So there would be a split there, but there's so much games. Ooh, okay, Clone Wars. Hold on. There's so much games on here. And then if you just want to pick up a whole chunk of games, they have the X-Wing series, the Jedi Knight series, the classic series, which is like early 90s, and then the modern section. I don't think it includes Fallen Order though, but we will get to Fallen Order. Love that game. Yeah, Lego games, you can't go wrong.
Yeah,
Oh, what is this?
Empire War. It was a strategy game.
Oh, I'm not good at these, but I do kind of love them. I love StarCraft.
Yeah, it's along those veins. I know. I want to say there was another one, Galactic Battlegrounds, that was like Age of Empires ish, and it was really good. Um, I do need to play both of these and see if I like them. Again, it's been a long time. I have Empire War installed. I just haven't played it for a long time. So,
I love these games so much. I love I put so much hours already into Age of Empires, all three of them that are out so far, and
mm,
it's kind of been like, do you have a life? No, not really. No, I'm just sitting here writing reviews and doing stuff. But I love these games. I love StarCraft. I suck at them, but I love
yeah, I'm not great at them either. To be completely honest with you, I wish I was better, which it annoys me very much. Playing with a buddy of mine who is good at these games, and uh, it's very frustrating. But yeah, I've just never been great at them. Although I do enjoy playing them.
them, right? Again, the stream might crash. If it does, we'll try to come back and we'll try to limp through this episode and I'll stitch it all together. Whether you're listening to it now or later, if you're listening to it, it's because it's been all stitched together, and Trevor has so graciously put it up where podcasts are available. So much, make sure you leave a review so we can read it in the show, or go to level1gaming.com. Go under the level one. Actually, why am I talking about it? Go onto the level one originals. Click the episode. Go to the bottom, and leave a little comment, and we'll read that. Ooh, where am I? I scroll too fast sometimes. Leave a little comment and leave a little happy face, whatever you want to see, and we'll read it out on the show as well.
And we have Chakalaka
What up,
in the
Chakalaka?
chat.
Level
What's
one
up,
reviewer.
Chakalaka? He says shout out to Star Wars Episode 1, the game for the PS1. I remember playing that game. It was pretty good.
Mhm.
Star Wars Episode Revenge of the Sith,
Hey,
which he also shouted out.
Chakalaka! Revenge of the Sith. I showed that. I did a retrospective on that too. It's probably one of the best movie tie-in games I've ever played. Like I was saying, uh, but it's very limited. But it's probably
Yeah,
better than some.
I would say in general the amount of Star Wars games that are good completely outweighs the amount of Star Wars games that are bad, for sure.
I agree
Most
with that.
most most Star Wars games are pretty good. At the very least, are fun,
And
even if they're not the best.
they cover so much. I mean, this is a strategy game. We've talked about Squadrons, which is a not flight sim, but a dogfight simulator. Uh,
Mhm.
Toy games, family games, Lego games. There's not a Star Wars games that doesn't fall in some kind of. There's RPGs, full-on battle shooters, even not even including the new games. There's so much Star Wars covers. Just wish they would do better a lot of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
X-Wing Alliance. I think this
Swing
came out.
Alliance.
This is very much a Wing Commander game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is an old school like PC um, X-wing game.
You can't go wrong with these. This is what Squadrons was started on.
Yeah, these are the kind of games that like um, I never really played them, but I've never been like a flight sim kind of guy. So, but I know a lot of people who really love these games, and if you're into the flight sim stuff, they're generally pretty great.
And these ones, they're not. They don't have to be graphically beautiful. Like, I wanted to play Squadrons today, but I couldn't. But Squadrons and those type of games, they don't have to be beautiful. The gameplay has to be really good. And from what I've heard of Squadrons, the gameplay is pretty banging.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And it doesn't make you sick. Well, actually, we'll see. I'll stream it tomorrow. We'll see if I'll get sick during Squadrons.
I would say less likely if you're not wearing a VR headset. Probably more likely if you are.
Oh, that
I
would
would
be.
I
Oof.
would guess.
I mean,
Yeah,
I can only play like Mirror's Edge 30 minutes at a time because I'll die if I
that's
play it
true.
for longer.
Yeah,
Uh, Chocolate, Pirate says, don't mess with the wing games. He loves the wing games. Chocolate says, Revenge of the Sith game was low key a good fighting game, and shout out to the fact that you can do a non-canon ending during the story playthrough. That's true.
that's cool.
They do have two different endings. Who is this made
Very
by?
cool.
Uh,
Jedi
the
Knight Jedi Academy.
the Collective and LucasArts. Oh,
Hmm.
okay. Jedi Academy. I did play this on stream. I still have that VOD up on my stream. I love this game. It's hard as shit, but I love it.
Yeah, in general, the Jedi Knight series of games were very hard, but they're just great games.
Yeah, and you can't go wrong with a good Jedi Academy game. The second one is a bit of a mess, but the first one,
Hmm.
splendiferous. Shadow of the Empire. Oh, look at that chunky booty.
Yep, this was the N64. So you know
Yeah,
how your graphics are gonna look. Which I mean, considering what those graphics are, it's actually not bad looking.
And the
Um,
fact that it ran without, I mean, look how many games we've played just in the last 5 years that you run them and then they crash. You didn't have that benefit on
mm,
the console. Look at Returnal.
yeah,
I've watched somebody get 6 hours into a cycle and then die and lose everything, or not die, but it crashes and lose everything.
crash. Oh man,
I think I
that
would use that
instantly for
disc.
me that would be like I'm done.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd be like I'm done with this. I'm done with you.
That's why we wait sometimes on buying it. And also, I'm not
Yeah,
going to spend $90 on a roguelike. Force
Force
Unleashed.
Unleashed.
I've not
Force
played this.
Unleashed. It was really good.
I heard it's
At the
better than the second. The second one kind of tried to overdo it.
Yeah, definitely. The Force Unleashed was good. It had Sam Witwer played the protagonist, Star Destroyer, right?
Yeah, he
Or
was big in
Star
everything.
Killer, something I think was the character's
Y-
name.
Yeah,
Um,
something weird.
yeah, so but yeah, it was really good. At the time it came out, I want to say it was quote unquote canon, but I don't think it's considered canon anymore in the
Okay.
pantheon of Star Wars. But yeah, it was a fun story. I mean, you literally pull a Star Destroyer out of the sky. I
Yeah.
mean, it's it's a good representation of what literally a dude with access to all these sweet force powers could do.
Hmm.
Like it was just a ton of fun to play, and really made you feel like a damn Jedi. Like in the purest of sense, it was a great game. I really like the Force Unleashed. I could definitely go back and play that at some point here.
I like games where you can be the bad guy. And I think that's why I kind of like Mass Effect. You're technically the good guy, but you can be an arsehole. I just love being the bad guy sometimes. I just want to be the bad. Let me be the bad guy. Chocolate says, "Yo, true story in Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PS2. You can play as the Empire during for a during a campaign, and if you win as the Empire, there's a cutscene where Leia is getting force choked by Vader, and she's being lifted in the air and kicking her feet. It's such a weird visual. I mean, little stuff like
Yeah,
that. Everybody wants to be the good guy. Not everybody, obviously. Look at me.
definitely not.
I just want to be the bad guy sometimes, huh? Ooh,
Yeah, what Pirate said, until Disney bought Star Wars, Force Unleashed was considered like in the same canon as the comics,
oh,
essentially.
man, Disney. I mean, Disney has done a lot for the series. Disney has done a
I
lot for whatever, but man, they suck.
I understand why they're doing it that way. It's so they
Have
have
control.
that's part of it, but it's also a through line for the story to make sure, yeah, I guess that they have control. So like I get it, uh but there's a ton of good Star Wars stories that they could weave into it as well.
Exactly.
But I think at least when they first took it over, it was easier to do it that way, because there's
Yeah.
so much. So
I mean, they
so
could
like I
literally
can
just write it off as, like we were saying, as this is another memory or people how they thought it was.
yeah, this is a legend or something, yeah.
If you read the Star Wars
Um,
book, the universe is so expansive that Darth Vader is just but a small itty bitty part of everything that ever goes on in Star Wars lore.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a ton of other lore and everything going on. Um, there's a bunch of stuff that doesn't happen to only people with the last name Skywalker. So,
Hmm.
uh,
Uh,
so moving on to the next one.
Before we get into that, I gotta ask you guys and Trevor, what if you know what is your saber color? Because there's been tons of like those like Harry Potter stuff out there. What is your saber color? What is your crystal? Your kyber crystal color?
I've never done a quiz or anything to find my saber color, but I would love to have a purple one personally.
Purple. Okay. Let me. Now I'm like, what does
Uh,
purple mean?
yeah, I'm not sure. Uh,
Kyber. No, I don't want to buy one. Nice try though.
you too
Every
can have a purple
lightsaber
kyber
color.
crystal.
Are they just gonna go through this? Okay. Let me go to red, purple. One of the most unique lightsaber colors in the Star Wars saga, the purple lightsaber is a distinct color blade that isn't seen in great numeration. According to Claudia Gray's novel Master and Presence, the color is a manifestation of the properties of the Jedi bonding to its kyber crystal. The most famous wield. Uh, it's just okay. It requires the Jedi to be dangerously close to the dark side. The purple blade can therefore be seen as a careful temperament between the light and the dark side of its wielder. Okay. You
I'm the
straddle in that
balance of the
line.
force.
Let's see. Ah, so I got a quiz and mine was black. The black lightsaber or dark saber is one of the. It's only one of its kind known to exist. It's created by the first Mandalorian ever to be inducted into the Jedi Order. Features unique black plasma. Blah 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 blah. Allows. Alright, so mine is another rare one too. Look at it, we both rare.
Yeah, we are.
But there's also
Chaka
there's not just
Chakalaka said his is blue.
oh you. Let me go back to that. There's not just lightsabers. There's light whips. There's all kinds of things out there.
Chakalaka saying purple is a little dangerous. It means you play with the dark side. Damn right I do.
Yeah, he does. He naughty. Blue sabers are typically wielded by the Guardians that seek to defend the Order from outside malevolence that could do them harm. Okay, okay, Chakalaka, you the good guy here. We are obviously not, or at least me. Pirate, you are yellow. Let's see what yellow is, because some of the rarest blades wielded by a member of the Jedi Order. The Jedi Sentinels comprise of force practical knowledge that make them expert spies. Yellow reflects a balance between green of the Jedi Consular and blue of the Jedi Guardian. Sentinels were exclusively employed by the Jedi Temple Guards. Okay. Although, if I had the choice, I wouldn't be a Jedi. I'd probably be Sith. I'll be 1,000%. That kind of
I could go
person.
either way, but
Obviously, purple blade.
yeah.
Episode 1 racer racing game, Star Wars.
I remember it being pretty good.
I think so, right?
And you can buy it like on Switch and PS4 and everywhere.
Yeah.
Where video games are sold at this point, so if you have any nostalgia for it, yeah, you can go back and actually play it
And most
on
of
modern
these
consoles.
games
So.
are short-ish, except for like the newer games. Most of these games can be like played in a weekend, or they're unlimited replayability, so you can like play them for 20 minutes and just piss off.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, she an old one.
The old school.
83
The
Star Wars.
83. Yeah. The old arcade game.
The good
I
old
don't think I ever got a
Vectographic.
chance to play it. Yeah.
You were young.
Yeah, I want to say I've seen it in an arcade before, but I don't
Man,
think I've ever actually sat and played it, but
that would. I miss arcades so much.
me too. Me too. It's funny because like growing up in the '90s as a kid, there were literally 2 arcades in my mall, and like
Right?
now the mall like is half empty.
I
So
miss arcades, man.
and there's no arcades,
Shout out to
which is
Palladium and
unfortunate.
Reds, man. They were my shits back in the day.
Yeah, it's very sad what's happened to arcades, and although like the kind of the rise of the barcade
Yeah.
is definitely cool to see.
And then COVID
There
said, "Not
was
today, Satan."
yeah, that's I really hope like that because there's actually an arcade in Pittsburgh, which is close to me called Victory Point, which it's not a traditional arcade, and they don't actually sell alcohol, but they do allow you to bring your own in.
Oh,
And then like basically you like pay a fee, you give it to them, and then they hand it out to you when you want it. And then but like their arcade is also like unlimited play. You just pay like a set fee and then just go to town.
that's cool.
But they would also have like I know they had like a room with like consoles and stuff set up as well, like with VR and etc. etc. So yeah, if you're in the Pittsburgh area, Victory Point. Although I don't know how their business operating is going since COVID. So
Ugh.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's unfortunately how it goes. I know there was also a cool barcade in Portland when I was there for Kent's wedding that we visited. That was pretty awesome, and that's where I got to play an actual Killer Queen machine. Uh,
Wow.
and Killer Queen in the arcade is fucking cool as hell.
Hell yeah,
Uh, so yeah,
man.
it's a really awesome like co-op versus game. And if you ever see it in an arcade somewhere, get a group of friends and play it because it's really cool.
Hell yeah. Arcade just, man, it was a different time. I miss them. Uh,
Yeah, so
Speaking of missing,
hopefully we see some of them survive.
yes,
Um,
please, because we need those. We need to understand. I mean, that's why we do the show. We need to understand where we came from to appreciate what's coming.
Absolutely.
Make sure you guys tweet the stream out. Let people know that, knock on wood, 36 minutes strong, no crashes yet. And watch as I say that.
And you're really trying to jinx us, aren't you?
I'm really trying to jinx this. But yeah, make sure you
Um,
tweet the stream out so people know.
but
Bounty
I just want
hunter.
to point out, Pirate. He said, "Did someone say Pittsburgh? I am from there." That's awesome. I'm not from Pittsburgh, but I am in Ohio, right across the river. I am. It takes me about
Steelers.
45 minutes. 45 minutes to drive to Pittsburgh, so I am right there on the in Eastern Ohio. So,
Meet up when COVID is over. Uh, so this is
Chakalaka.
what's up,
Sorry,
Chocolate? No, you go. Sorry.
Chakalaka says, "Oh my God, I want to play the Star Wars arcade game from the late '90s. I think there was 3 levels, and one of them was the Battle of Hoth, and the other one was a lightsaber fight with Vader. I kind of vaguely remember that."
I hope it's on this list
Um,
because I'm like, I can't remember any of that.
Yeah, like that definitely sounds familiar, but especially the lightsaber fight part, but it's been a long time.
So
But that
Bounty
would be really cool to
Hunter.
see.
Uh, I mean, I think Bounty Hunter was the first you play as Jango Fett, but I think the next game that was supposed to come out, 1313. Oh God, that made that game rest in peace. I think you were supposed to play as Boba Fett, and then that one, not 100% sure,
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
but you were supposed to be a
yeah,
bounty hunter. Yeah,
yeah. You play as Boba Fett. I think it kind of maybe was part of the catalyst for making Boba Fett a popular character.
yeah,
Or no, you play as Jango Fett
yeah.
actually.
Django. Yeah,
Yeah, but it definitely helped popularize the Mandalorians, especially to kids that were playing in the PS2 GameCube era of video games. It was definitely it was a cool game. I remember it being kind of hard.
I mean,
Um,
it says the controls were janky, so yeah.
yeah, that's why. Yeah, I remember I knew there was something about it that was weird. So yeah, it was probably the controls, and I mean that kind of fits into that era. There was a lot of games where the controls were just like they hadn't quite they weren't quite there yet.
Yeah,
Um, so,
man.
but that was something that got fixed in like the 360 PS3 era for sure.
1992s. This is what we started the show off with. Super Star Wars. Destroy your soul.
Yeah, I mean those games were very hard, which I mean for 1992 that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah,
But they were great. They were great games.
man, they would have been quarter years at the arcade.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yes, they
Mhm.
would have been.
Burn through your whole allowance.
Mhm.
The Old Republic. That's the MMO,
Yes.
which Trevor and I were playing last month, and we'll play more. I've just been trying to get a whole bunch of stuff done so I can get to streaming schedules. But this is the BioWare game. Um, you can play as Jedi or Sith. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. It's constantly updating. Once you get to a certain level, it does lock the story out, and it is a $10 a month subscription. But
Hmm.
it takes you like 50 hours, 60 hours to get there, so you don't have to worry. And there's tons of free stuff you can do if you don't want to pay that.
Yeah, plus I'm pretty sure you can play like basically because each individual character, at least the beginning part of their story is unique. So
Hmm.
you can at least play through a good chunk like each of those stories
Hmm.
without having to pay, which is cool. So
Yeah,
yeah, it does some cool stuff.
the first Rogue Squadron. I have to go back and play it. I did play two. I did a retrospective on it.
Hmm.
It was okay. They're unique for the time. This Rogue
Yeah,
Squad 2 was the launch title for the GameCube, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
believe so. Yeah, I think I want to say Rogue Squadron might. I know it was on PC,
N64, yeah.
and so yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was on 64 as well. That's what I was about to say.
Man,
So yeah,
yeah, these none of these games have been like except for the Star Wars, the Force Awakens, haven't been new games. Dark Forces, oh my god, this is old.
yeah. Dark Forces, I actually like literally just downloaded again today. Um, because I thought about playing it. I just didn't have time before we started the podcast. But
You'll play it tonight.
but totally could. Yeah, I mean, this is where they introduced Kyle Katarn, who was the character in the Jedi Knight games as well. So this is kind of like the introduction to that. Um, but yeah, these were. I mean, yeah, it was basically Doom Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
you could see it just from the basic kind of UI.
mhm.
Don't
Which I
forget,
mean,
guys. Oh, Nani, Opa,
I was gonna say there were a ton of games like that around this time that it came out. So
ton. Well, this is just the 25 best, but there's a whole list of every single Star Wars game. We're not going to get through them all because a lot of them are shovelware and we've just never heard of them, and especially the early 80s stuff, just don't know it. But there's a ton. Make sure to leave your favorite Star Wars game, Star Wars movie as well in the sub comments. And if you are a just coming in now, leave your lightsaber color, and maybe it'll be on the list and we'll read it off. Oh, Battle for Naboo! I also have this one too. Oh, it's upside down. Still
yeah, I
haven't
heard
got
that
it to
one's
run.
pretty good. I've heard it's
It's
pretty good. It's supposed to be pretty good.
is this one? It might be on this list. It's probably somewhere in here. Battle for Naboo. I can't wait to get it running because I like dogfight style games. I'm just not good at them because blah, blah, blah. They'll make me vomit. Uh, was the
Uh,
Star Wars trilogy of games for the SNES covered? No, not yet because we're just going through this
oh yeah,
25
yeah, it was.
best. Oh, it
It
was?
was. Those were the Super Star Wars games, yeah, that we
Oh,
talked about. Yeah,
there it
yeah.
is. Oh, they just went through the series. Oh, I thought
Yeah,
there we
yeah.
go.
That was all three of them, yeah. But
I
yeah,
made
we
it
talked
through.
about it towards the beginning of the podcast earlier today. So
You have to go back like 3 shows. Uh, Rogue Squad 2. This one was, you know what? Since I did emulate it, and it's on the Dolphin, which is the original name for game whatever I can't remember. It ran well,
GameCube.
except for when you went into first person. Then it was like awful, but this was a really good game. I can't wait to see if Squadrons now holds up.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
I think I'm gonna be nauseous 20 minutes in, man.
I mean, it very much, yeah, it
Ugh,
very much could be. Get some Dramamine and
I will have to, yeah. I mean, I love Mirror's Edge, but I haven't been able to finish that game ever, so I'm
yeah,
not hopeful.
yeah,
But you'll
because
watch me have a mental breakdown during playing it.
well, I mean that's I don't know if that's a plus, but you know,
Depends how you want to spend your day.
yeah, I mean that's it surely could be entertaining to some.
I was gonna get into some YouTube stuff. Nah, let's leave that for another day.
Yeah,
Jedi
yeah,
Forces 2. No, Dark Forces 2. What was this?
yeah. So this is it's kind of where Jedi Knight started. It was a sequel to Dark Forces. Obviously, as anybody can tell by the name. But yeah, it was a continuation of that, and I mean these games were huge at the time, and there's still a fair bit of good feelings and nostalgia behind them. So they're definitely great classic games. Whether or not people can still get into them, it really just depends on how far back you can go when playing a game. Like I could totally play these games
Oh
again
yeah.
today, but I could understand if people are just like, yeah, that game's just too old for me.
See, I
But
understand that, and then they'll probably go back and play like Final Fantasy 9, which only has 11 more days before it gets off the Game Pass, y'all. So go play Final Fantasy 9 and be like, oh, this is great. The same era.
yeah,
You can't pick and choose. Cool.
yeah. I mean, Final Fantasy IX's timeless though, so I get it.
Fantasy 9, man. I can't wait to. I'm at the last cutscene, I think. I can't wait to go back and just finish that tonight. Star Wars, Lego. We've talked about Lego. Go play them.
Yeah, yeah. You apparently made a wise purchase, just from this list.
I love, man. I'll buy anything Lego. Uh, TIE Fighter. Man, they have a lot of like dogfight games.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I
a
was gonna
lot.
say the person who did this list definitely loves their tie, but Tie Fighter is definitely a classic in that genre of Star Wars stuff. So uh, I know a lot of people were super into it.
Ooh,
Public Commando.
the one
Uh,
that is getting a port or re-release.
Re-release, yeah, it was originally Xbox and PC. It's on backwards compatibility right now. I tried to play it on PC earlier and it told me no. Uh, so, but yeah, it's I just remember it being really fun, really cool. You play as a clone trooper during the Clone Wars. So and you play actually in a squadron. So yeah, I Pirate just said Republic Commando is tough. Yeah, I remember it being pretty hard
Oh
as
God.
well. So yeah, I do want to play it though because it's been a long time. And I just remember it being fun. It's a fun first person shooter
I
set in
will
the Star Wars universe.
say a lot of these games, if you want to play them on PC, because you can go to like somewhere like Nexus Mods or ModDB, and there's a lot of mods to fix some of the stuff. Um, I usually advocate for people to play games on PC just for the mods on PC, but there's nothing wrong with playing it on console too. Play it where you have it.
No, I would say because of how well the Xbox backwards compatibility is, how awesome it is. If these games are available for that, I would highly recommend them on the backwards compatibility. Even Knights of the Old Republic, yeah, you're not going to get some of like the extra mods, but the actual game looks really good
And most
on
of these
backwards.
games play through without mods first and then put mods in.
Yeah, so I mean, I know like Knights of the Old Republic I thought looked better on Xbox with backwards compatibility than it did on my PC with mods. So, I mean, take that for what you will, but yeah, it's those versions are really good. So, I will probably be playing Republic Commando on my Xbox Series X soon.
Hell yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't like this. This game was a hot mess to me. It just didn't. I got to the. I think I talked about this before. The really tall section where you're in a skyscraper and you kind of got to like jump between buildings, and I just lost my way. And usually where enemy meet is you is go, but that wasn't the case. And I
Mm,
had a whole meltdown, and not meltdown, but like I put cheats on to kind of like clip through the walls to see where I could go. Uh, and yeah, it just this game was a mess. It didn't have that little like nudge to say, "Hey, go here." So I got lost and then never found my way out.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it definitely had some problematic stuff in it, but I think overall, it being a continuation of the other Jedi Knight stuff definitely helped it in that respect. I think, and just it was different and gave you more freedom than a lot of other Star Wars games at the time, and I think that's why people were super into it because it was different. You got to play as a Jedi, you got to do your own thing, you got to customize Cal
mhm.
Katarn and what he could do, like powers wise and stuff like that. So, I think that freedom is what got people into it.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Ooh,
but in the chat, we got Chakalaka says to pay respects to the unreleased Star Wars games such as Star Wars 1313
yeah,
and the Amy Hennig directed Star Wars games. I would have loved to see what those were, honestly,
yeah,
but unfortunately, gone too soon. And he also mentions the Battlefront 3 for PS3 demo, uh,
yeah. That's true.
and how that never saw the light of day. And yeah, that's unfortunate.
That, that's why I advocate so strongly for video game preservation, and if it comes down to it, emulating, not pirating, but emulating, because some of these games, I mean, we'll go into an episode of games that are stuck in that weird who owns them, nobody owns them, so they're just lost to the
Mhm,
history books. But you gotta protect these games.
definitely.
Trevor is going to talk about this, the third game. I'll be right back, y'all.
So yeah, Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords, uh, KOTOR 2, it was really good. A lot of people don't like it as much as the first one, and I think that might come down to the story. There were some I remember them having a few bugs here and there, but I think mostly it came down to the story maybe not being as good as the first one, and I think the first one had that big reveal. Um, had Revan, uh, whom you can see behind me, and I think that was a big draw for a lot of people in the first one. But I think Obsidian did a lot of cool stuff with the gameplay elements of Knights of the Old Republic 2, and being able to essentially like recruit and make and turn your party into a party of Jedi was I think really cool to get people into the Jedi Order. So I think those aspects definitely changed it up a bit and made it a different experience from the first KOTOR, even though it was part of the same series. So yeah, that is my take on that. But I liked Knights of the Republic 2 a lot. Um, even though I think the story of the first one speaks to me more, and it'll forever be my favorite. I think, but yeah, KOTOR 2 did some really di- interesting and different things uh, that make it different from the first one. But I don't think it made it like any better or worse. I think it's just what you personally like better.
Yeah, an extension.
Hmm. Yeah.
which, I mean, yeah, we talked about this several times. $4 for both of them. Come on. You can pick up both of these games for $10. Probably some of the best Star Wars games that people have to talk about ever in terms of like story and the way they are.
Yeah, I mean, you can get them dirt cheap, so do it.
Bite that bullet.
Do it.
It's in the description if you want. Battlefront 2 and 2005's Battlefront 2, not the new one.
Yes. Yeah, the OG BF2.
Man, these
Uh,
games were good.
yeah, they were just fun. I mean, at the end of the day, they're just, you are a trooper, just fighting dudes. I mean, it's essentially it's old school Battlefield, but in
Yeah.
the Star Wars universe is what it is. Um,
Yeah.
so if you like the OG Battlefield games, you will like the OG Battlefront games, because they are the sames.
They
Just
really are.
one is set in the Star Wars universe, for the most part. So
I do want to play the new one for the story and maybe a few rounds of multiplayer, but I'm like not.
so once they took out the loot box aspect of it, um, the game itself is pretty good. The multiplayer, I think, is really good in the new one.
Okay.
When they're not trying to nickel and dime you.
Of course.
Uh, the story
It's like
wasn't
not
bad.
there. Okay.
It wasn't bad, but it was like it's very short. For
Uh
what it was. I think I like the character of Iden Verso more than I like the actual story. But that's probably because it's Janina Gavankar,
eh,
and
Chibe.
she's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she's gorgeous. She's an actual hardcore gamer. Like, I mean, like what's not to like about Janina Gavankar? So,
God, you ain't never lied.
um, but yeah, I like the character, and I like that she actually got to play a canonical character in Star Wars lore,
Yes.
for sure. So, I think the character would be served better with, maybe, if she was added into like either a TV show or a movie, and got a good role in one of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not bad. Like, and I think the fact that you can play Battlefront 2 now on Game Pass, with no barrier to entry, you don't even have to pay anything at this point. You can just go in there,
Mm-hmm.
literally guns a blazing, and play it. It's definitely worth playing. I would say for those that want a, good multiplayer shooter.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we're living in a world where there are a lot of good free to play multiplayer shooters.
That's true.
So really, which one do you pick? I mean, I can't tell you that it's all personal preference, but
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I
we
mean,
we talked about this last week with the open worlds, and then we got into open worlds that are daily, like Destiny. You got to pick which one you want to spend your time with. Very
yeah,
hard.
yeah, it's a hard call, like, because I mean, literally, they're all good. So it's really, it literally all just comes down to personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like, and when it comes to like battle royales, like, I prefer Apex, but someone else is gonna prefer like Fortnite, um,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever have you. They're all good. It's
Yeah.
just all personal preference. So you
Yeah.
can.
Very
I
true,
I like
actually.
both I like both Destiny and the Division 2, but if I were to play one of them daily, which I currently don't, it would probably be the Division over Destiny. But that's just personal preference.
Hell yeah.
So
Play what you want and have fun with what you want. Don't put other people down for what they like, unless it's something that the company is just like egregiously unmoral or they're being unmoral on the game. Let people have their fun. Come on.
And then Chaka did say, shout out to the line on the original Battlefront 2, where an Imperial officer said in a report that they are, quote unquote, spreading order when quelling the rebellion.
That's true.
So,
There's a lot
it
of
is
like
true.
sentences or things that are, even if it's like a one-to-one remake or like a re-release of something, uh, they take out lines or switch lines. Like in the original Pocahontas, in the song Savages, they originally say, let's go kill a few men. And in the new releases, they say, let's go get a few men. And I'm like, oh, okay, okay. And
Which, I mean, for a movie, for like Pocahontas, I get that, especially because it's tailored to kids. So,
yeah,
like that I understand more than like some of the other stuff that might get a little bit of a change. Like they're I'm not gonna get up in arms about a change over like anything because like it's really not that big of a deal either way.
it is what it is.
Um, yeah, like times change, things change,
Hmm.
people change, and sometimes you have to adapt with the times. That's just the way it is. Like you have to grow and become better
Hmm.
as a society,
You know what I can't
which
get jive with is the shows that ended like 20, 30 years ago, like Al Bundy or Friends, and people getting all cattywampus about it today. Like the show has been off the air for like as long as I've been alive.
yeah,
Leave it alone.
yeah, exactly. Like yeah, it's not. That's the thing. Like, and you can pick and choose. Like if you're a network, you can pick and choose what to air and what not to air.
Hmm.
If there's something overly offensive, just don't air it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple.
Networks
There
never
are
get it though.
plenty. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ways for people to find that content how they want to find it. You know.
Yep.
So Chakalaka says, "I hate ET where they digitally replace the guns with walkie talkies." Um, yeah,
Did not know they did that.
I honestly didn't know that either. To be totally honest, I mean it goes either way. Again, ET marketed at kids, so like I can understand it from that standpoint, but like it is what it is. Like I'm at the same time it like doing that digital switch doesn't really change the outcome of the movie and how the movie plays out.
Yeah.
So I think if it did, then I'd be more, you know, like what the heck? They changed the whole movie. But
Like who
if
shot
it's
first?
yeah, exactly. But I mean, if it's something small that they do that doesn't really affect the movie and the plot and change anything like that, then it's like whatever. It happens. It's not. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it
No.
if that
I
makes any
mean,
sense.
it's already
So
been done. Can't get angry over it. It is what it is. I mean, if you've watched our while we before we get into the next topic, I'm playing the original 2003 trailer for the number one game on our list, which was KOTOR. Um, but if you've watched the 2XP podcast, which is tomorrow, I talked several times how um, Mass Effect, the original, especially with the Legendary coming out, just the visuals don't hold up. And they dogpile on me saying, you can't compare it to today. Why? Because I can point out 1,000 other 2007 games that look better than that. Like, why can't I point it out? Like, I understand 2007, but I'm also comparing it with other 2007 games, and just one I can think of off the top of my head that I've been reviewing, Stalker, looks better than Mass Effect, but Mass Effect has a better story. I'm just saying the visuals don't hold up. But apparently, to some people, you can't talk bad about anything. And I love BioWare. Our first episode was a BioWare.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, it's sometimes stuff just doesn't hold up. I mean,
and it's
it
okay
it
to
is
say
what it
that.
is. Yeah, like even if you compare Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2, I mean,
Different.
clearly Mass Effect 2 is like way better. Um,
God, so good.
so like I mean, I myself I love how Mass Effect 1 looks. Like it doesn't bother me. but it's like, but if they want to change it and make it with like on par with two, like I'm not gonna cry about it either. Like
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
and
You
I
know?
think the visuals, like you said, they don't bother me. Just when you compare them to two, it's noticeable. But I do think some of the gameplay in front I've seen what they put out. Some of the
Yeah,
gameplay stuff needs to be updated.
yeah. For like, I think you have to think about it from an understanding point of view and understand why the first Mass Effect was so different than Mass Effect 2, and that's because it was kind of a different BioWare where they were focusing on the RPG element.
Hmm.
To them, like, because they were, this was them coming off games uh, like Neverwinter Nights and games like that, or even KOTOR, where you have dice rolls happening in the background.
Hmm.
You're not seeing dice being rolled, but they're happening.
Yep.
Where it's like roll the dice, see if it's to hit, and like it was like they were trying to basically hodgepodge that with an actual action based combat system. So like you would sit there and shoot a dude in real time, but then if it actually hit would be a dice roll. So I just don't think that jived in the minds of people when they were playing it,
Yeah.
which makes sense because it's like dude, I'm shooting him and I'm hitting him. Why isn't it doing anything? So like I understand where that comes from, where it's like what is with this?
Yeah.
Like why does it do that? But it was all it was all based on like dice rolls and Dungeons and Dragons type, like in the background thinking.
Yep.
Um, Whereas Mass Effect 2, they completely switched to an actual, active combat, real time combat situation, uh, where you can pause for like a power,
Yeah.
um, but the combat's still happening in real time beyond that. So
And I
you
did
know
love
it,
that.
yeah. So and I think they moved it to a system that I think was better for everybody in general, and I think hit a broader audience, which is
Yes.
why I think Mass Effect 2. Well, part of the reason why Mass Effect 2 is more popular than the other games. I mean, the other reason is that it was a multi-platform game, and you know,
Yeah.
the first one was only on Xbox 360. But
God, I can't wait. So many people are
yeah,
gonna
so
experience. I mean, it is on multiple platforms now, but so many people are gonna experience Mass Effect One for the first time as it looked to
yeah,
us back then.
yeah, and honestly, Mass Effect 1 still might be the best story actually of them. It just didn't have the gameplay to match.
Yeah.
Uh, could um, but like that story in Mass Effect One is really good. Um, and that's why I still would recommend go and read those first books, the
Hmm.
Drew Caprician Mass Effect books because they're really good.
And I think the movies are on Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime, I think. I mean, I own them, but even the movies give a lot of context as to what's happening. And those,
Mhm.
yeah. Uh, this is the infamous scene from Force Unleash. I thought it was. I don't know why my brain said Force Awakens. It's the bringing down the Star Destroyer.
Yeah,
I gotta play this game.
it's good. I mean, I would think it still holds up. Like it was a fun action game where you basically got to use force powers like
Like that looks like
you're
fun.
throwing around TIE fighters. Like, come on.
You
It's
can't go wrong with that.
it shows you like the true power of actually having a force user that you can just do anything with. So,
That's what I kind of loved and kind of wish they would have expanded upon in other me. What is it? Fallen Order. It's like you felt like you were a Force user, but there was still like only in boss battles, or only in special
Yeah,
action sequence. No, I'm Cal Goddamn Kestis. I'm trying to revive the Jedi Order. Like, come on.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Thanks for hanging out, Chakalaka. Go watch. There's a whole bunch of stuff on Disney Plus. The whole bunch of games. Remember, if you want to hit up some good games, the Humble Bundle sale. It's in the description. Uh, it's only for a day. Thought his niece was coming. Yeah. But thanks for hanging out, Chakalaka. You're awesome, and I can't wait to see what else you can review or write on Level One Gaming, because man, your reviews. Whenever I read them, I'm like, okay. And then when I'm trying to write reviews, what would Chakalaka do? That's what I base my stuff on, because you just know what you're doing. Uh, so we've gone through of course, the top one was KOTOR. Um,
yeah. Knights of the Old Republic. I mean, it's it's one of the best RPGs of all time, let alone one of the best Star Wars games of all time. So,
yeah,
I mean, it fits both of those very well. I mean, the characters are just so great in it. Like each and every character from, from Karth to Bastila to HK-47 to the main character, uh, whatever you name them, and the big reveal about them. I mean,
oh
it's
my god, that twist ending. Oh,
yeah, it's so well done. I mean, it might yeah, it's one of the best Star Wars stories ever told.
yeah.
In any genre, in any medium.
Yeah, I
Um,
think, yeah.
so yeah, Knights of the
And
Old Republic, like it belongs at number one for
it
sure.
it's like four four five $10 to pick up KOTOR 1 and 2, honestly. Uh
Yeah,
if you and it's from that age of BioWare that people consider the golden age, when I think Dragon Age Origins, Mass Effect 1, KOTOR, Jade Empire, Neverwinter, like from that just golden era. So
mhm.
you know the gameplay is going to be pretty good, the story is going to be pretty dang good, and you're going to have a good time. And you can play it in a weekend. They're not long, that's what she said, but they're really good and they're jam packed with stuff. Now, this is the big
Yeah, go
boy,
play it.
because there is, yeah, I'm going to say 80 or not more, because then you got all these kinds of spin offs. There's tons of Star Wars games. We're not going to get into all of them. We're just going to look at what we know and talk about them. And if you guys want us to talk about anything else Star Wars related on this May the 4th be with you, let us know. Yeah. So I'm going to cut out probably anything that's like, why don't I want to go by date? What's the date? Oh, these are all standalone. Okay. Table games, I think we can cut out. Pinball.
Yeah,
What's
I
the
haven't.
date?
Yeah,
Oh, 90s. Shadows of the Empire. Yeah, what? This is the most confusing list I've ever seen.
yeah, I noticed that. I mean, honestly, I think we've covered the major ones
Yeah.
for the
Oh,
most part. Like,
let's look at cancel games. Project Ragtag. Oh, is that 1313?
I don't think that. I think that might have been the Amy Henning one, perhaps.
I think so. 2015. No, 2017. There was a demo. October demo. 2017. It looks like it was canceled. Huh.
Yeah.
Visceral. Fallen Order. Okay. Project Ragtag. I know there was. See, that's it. Oh, 1313. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Hmm.
I think Ragtag. I think it went by another name, but I can't remember the name. Project. Blue Whale, or there was
Yeah, I can't
another one
remember.
like that. Battle. A lot of these, man, with Old Republic 3,
Hmm.
that would have been cool. Comics, man, there's Star Wars. The only universe that I know that is almost as big is maybe Avatar, like James Cameron Avatar, because they spent millions building a world that they never used.
Hmm. Well, apparently there's still movies going to come out for that.
Yeah,
Supposedly,
I think
supposedly.
people are kind of
Uh,
over James Cameron. Especially, I know
oh, for 100%. Yeah.
people here in Alberta, because he came here and toured the oil sands and said, "Shame on you for digging up the earth," uh, and then flew back home in his jet. And people are like, "Boy, if you don't get the hell out of here and never return." But I wish this was a
Yeah, there's so Project Ragtag was the Amy Hennig game.
okay.
Was yeah.
Oh, God, that game, that and 1313. Maybe with the success of Fallen Order, we might see it eventually come back. Maybe not with Amy Hennig, of course, but
Uh,
maybe
I think we'll see
like a branch of it.
some others. Yeah, maybe some other studios taking a risk with those games now. Maybe they'll let them do that. I mean, we're definitely seeing a second Jedi Fallen Order
Oh,
because they've confirmed that. I'm pretty sure.
without a doubt. I mean, the way the way it ended, at the very end, they introduce the big bad of the entire Star Wars universe, but you only see him for 15 minutes, if not even actually. Probably like
Hmm.
6 minutes. Oh, okay. And this is when EA said, "Oh, nobody wants to play single player games. Like nobody does that anymore. Come on."
Yeah. So actually, just uh, for just for a little bit of clarity, I do have a list that's on IGN of the top 10 best-selling Star Wars games.
Oh, okay.
Uh, so
Oh, like,
number one is Battlefront from 2015.
oh,
Oddly
I
enough,
wasn't expecting that. Okay.
I think that's because it that game sold super well, and I think that's because it was Battlefront coming back after thought to be dead for so long that we would never see another Battlefront game,
That's true. Yeah.
and that's what people were wanting. Um,
Okay.
but then the second top selling game is in fact Jedi Fallen Order.
Wow. When people don't play single player games. Okay.
Yeah, so I think that definitely it had to open up the eyes there at EA. Been like, you know what? Maybe we were wrong. uh,
Yeah.
so number three is Star Wars Battlefront 2 from
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah. I'm not
The
surprised in the least about
even
that.
even even after the loot box stuff, it still sold extremely well.
Yeah.
Um, so I think what that shows is that even if you have a big hubbub of negative stuff happening on Twitter in the game community, that doesn't always translate to
Yeah.
how the broad spectrum of people actually feel about something. Uh,
I think also Star Wars is like Marvel, where they're very unique, where
mhm.
you don't, if you just watch the movies and you might buy the game because you like the movies and you're
Yeah.
not necessarily a gamer, or like me, who's never watched the new movies but you like the games, and probably, I honestly don't know if I'll watch the new movies. I might, but it's not going to influence. I'll probably buy these games no matter, or not buy, but like play these games no matter what. Star Wars and
Hmm.
Marvel are very like, you don't have to like one or the other, but you want to experience both, because there's probably a ton of people who don't play video games that play Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah, and I mean, you have. It's also one of those things where it's like, Star Wars is so recognizable that if you're on a shelf and it's the holiday season, you're gonna have that parent come in and be like, "What do I get my kid for Christmas?" They like
Yep.
Star Wars. Hey, look, there's a new Star Wars game. I'll buy that. You
Yeah,
know,
that's true. Yeah.
so because they're not gonna care how good it is.
You like Star
They're
Wars? Here you
gonna
go.
yeah, exactly. They're gonna hope it's good. And that their kid has a good time with it, obviously.
Hmm.
But they're gonna be like, "Hey, I got you the new Star Wars game. Have fun."
Yep.
Um, that sort of thing. So yeah, I think that's where that goes as far as that. But the number four is actually Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. Uh,
I mean, yeah,
which makes a lot of sense. I mean, the Lego Star Wars games have always done well, and that one being the complete package. Plus, I mean, they're co-op games, so you can play them multiplayer, you can play them by yourself. They're pretty much games for everybody, which is a good thing. So,
yep.
uh, and then just to quickly go down the list, number five is The Force Unleashed, the original Force Unleashed.
Okay.
Which obviously it was pretty big when it came out, so that
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me. Um, Number six is the original Battlefront 2, the
Mm,
2005 one. Seven is Lego Star Wars 2,
okay.
based on the original trilogy of movies. Number eight is the Lego Star Wars based on the prequel trilogy. And then number nine is Star Wars Battlefront from 2004.
Oh,
Uh, and 10 is actually Star Wars Shadow of the Empire, uh,
wow. Okay.
which which was pretty big during the N64 era. So
Yeah.
that's not surprising. A lot of people bought that game on N64. So I mean, I'm kind of surprised to see it on the top 10 just because it was so long ago that it was obviously gaming as a hobby gets more popular every year.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising to see newer games at the top.
Yeah.
So something that came out in like Shadows of the Empire was like 96 or 98, something like that. It's just surprising to see based on that just when it came out that it is that high up.
I'm
But yeah, it
surprised
is.
that Star Wars Kinetic isn't on there.
Oh, the Kinect one.
Yeah,
I
the one
you
with the
know
dance game in the middle of it.
yeah, it didn't do great. Um, as someone who sold it when it came out, it didn't do well. I think at that point, people were kind of over the gimmick that was Connect.
Yeah.
Uh, if I remember right, it might have got pushed a little bit later than they wanted it to, and it didn't do well. I don't think that was the Star Wars game they were looking for.
No. But like you were
So,
saying with the Christmas stuff, I'm surprised parents didn't pick this up. Oh, we could play this together, or grandparents even.
mm,
Cause did it come free with some consoles for a while? Like one of the bundled in games.
um, it might have. I can't remember
Cause I feel like
because I know.
it might have, but I'm not. Yeah, again, I don't know.
Well, they did that R2D2 console that had the C3PO controller, but if I remember right, I don't think it actually came with the game. I think you had to buy the game separate, which is why people didn't buy the game.
Oh,
But that's how I remember it. That's not necessarily how it happened. I could be wrong.
yeah.
Uh,
Cause I
so
feel like in Canada there might have been a bundle or two like that, but I'm not 1,000% sure. Because apparently every, I mean, we know this. Every area has its own bundles, packages, and all that stuff slapped together. In Canada, we weird over here, man. We really
yeah,
are.
it's possible I'm wrong. It might have
No,
come with the game.
I don't think you're wrong. It might have been region select because we've definitely had that before.
It's possible too. Like I'm looking it up now and I see a picture, but the picture is not the US version, so
Yeah.
I don't know if and it came with the game. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't. It's hard to say, but even if it came with the game, I don't think the game did well.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just it was. I mean, part of me wants to
yeah,
find
it
a
was just one of
copy
those weird things.
now for like
Mm.
collection sake, but God, I can't imagine it did well at all.
Okay, yeah. So I'm looking at the US version of it on Best Buy's website. It did come with the game, so I
Okay.
was wrong on that.
No, you weren't
Um,
wrong. You just didn't know.
that's true. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I mean, it's that was
So
years
long
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been
Uh,
in quarantine for like 20 years now, so
sure feels like it. Yeah. But but yeah. But yeah, it did come out a bit later. The reviews were not good.
I can
Looking at
imagine.
it, it has a Metacritic score of 55.
Mhm.
Um, GameSpot gave it a 5. IGN gave it a 5.5. So was
Okay, that's
definitely swimming in fives.
higher than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
50%
That
is
was
really good
well.
for a
If
game like that.
video video games are weird, and where
Yeah,
in most things like a 5 would be like, okay, that's average, but in game speak, it's like, nah, it's not good.
right.
Um, it's which I don't understand where that narrative came from, but like it's just kind of
That
how it is.
that's why I try. That's why I do retrospectives because I don't like to give numbers.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when people say, "Oh,
Every,
like a 72 is bad," excuse me, 72 is like a B B. That's passing. As long as you passing, baby, that's all
well,
that matters.
72 is really a C, but still, it's still passing.
When I went to school,
But
it was a
yeah,
B.
was it?
Yeah, Canada,
I
we
don't think it was.
no, it was
Well, I mean that you are
Canadian.
Canada, so
Canadian system is different.
that is true. That is true. You are Canadian.
It
You
might be
do live in
different.
our home and native land.
It may be different now because like every 10 years they shifted and moved things down. But when I was in school, yeah, 70, eh, man, 72 was
Yeah,
good.
so in the U.S. that's a C,
Oh,
because the '80s are Bs and the '90s are As,
dang.
and then we don't even do Es. Ds are the '60s, and then anything beyond that is an F
Yeah, which, come
for
on,
failure. So
not
I
hard.
think that's probably why people think a 50 is a bad score, because in the United States in school, 50 is an F.
Man,
So
50's passing still here. Like it's not the great, but at least you're gonna pass.
yeah, it's in the United States, it's an F for failure.
Now I understand why the US has so many problems. It's all coming to me
It has
now.
so many.
I love all my US friends, but I see it. I see it. Okay.
We're uh
An interesting
we're
bunch.
pretty much bred for failure from the beginning. Um
I didn't say it.
Look, I mean, they want you to do well in school, but they don't want to give the school resources to help you do well.
Right.
So, because standardized testing is the way to go.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
That always works out.
uh-huh, yeah, because you know that works for everybody and not just a select group of people who are good at taking tests. But hey,
Yeah.
what do I know?
Good at regurgitating uh stuff. Let's see
Yeah,
what
good at remembering stuff, uh,
yeah.
remembering facts. Like that's no, it does.
Yeah. That's a
And
whole
the older I get, like the more I realize how screwed up that stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was younger, because like I was, I was, as long as I was in class and paid attention, uh, I would do fine because like I was good at, I was good at test taking and stuff. Like none of that stuff bothered me. But like, but I know other people who aren't like they're not stupid people. Like they're smart, or they just are smarter in different areas than I
Mm-hmm.
am. Because I'm dumb in a lot of technical like skills. Like you know if you want me to look at a car, I'll like look at a car and then be confused. Um, but but like I know people who weren't who weren't the best like at like math or science or anything, but then like you put them in front of a car and they're and they know everything about it, can do this that like, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like I don't know. That's you know
It's something.
that's a whole nother language. Like I think it just goes to show that different people are good at different things. Like not everybody needs to be, and the school systems tend to try to fit everybody into a singular box,
Yep.
where really in society there are multiple boxes,
Yep.
and people can be in different boxes, and that's okay.
I yeah,
But
because we're all different, and this is off topic, but sort of on topic.
yeah,
I went
yeah,
to a technical trade school, and I did a printing program. And you think with the arts or base program, you would go based on a portfolio, but now it was people who uh, had good grades. And let me tell you, I there was a lot of smart people in that class, but they couldn't think of designs or basically draw straight lines to save their lives. And I'm like, why are you here?
yeah,
Just because you're smart doesn't mean you know everything. Just because people call
yeah,
you dumb doesn't mean you're actually dumb.
yeah, exactly. And I like so at least the school system around me had pretty much like after your sophomore year, you made a choice. You either stayed the course in what was quote unquote like a more college prep based thing that was like this normal school is going to keep you going towards college, but we also had a technical school around here, which was the JVS, which taught more technical skills, and pretty much after your sophomore year you pretty much had to make that decision whether you want to do one or the other. um, and like honestly, there were a lot of kids who just didn't do well in the regular school that moved over to the JVS, and I know one that ended up being like the valedictorian of the JVS, and
Jesus.
like I was very shocked when I found that out at our graduation. Because he it was someone that acted out a lot in
Yeah.
regular school, and that's probably just because regular school didn't work for them, you know.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to figure out like, well, why is he acting out in this way,
He's a problem.
or like basic, or yeah exactly, like why is he causing problems for teachers or being the class clown or whatever. It just became, well, he's a problem. We'll stick him in the corner, give him suspensions, give him detention,
Hmm.
that kind of stuff, instead of figuring out that, oh, maybe this just isn't his lane, and maybe we need to figure out what his lane is and
Hmm.
set him on a course to make him successful elsewhere.
And I don't blame teachers
Um,
because, I mean, they get the bare minimum and are expected to do
yeah,
a lot.
yeah,
Some teachers,
it's
I should say.
it's completely underfunded, or a lot of teach like when I was in high school, a lot of my teachers were old.
Yeah.
So they were in a system that essentially they had been doing the same thing for like 30 years, and like it's hard to readjust,
Yeah.
uh to any changing, and even like when I was in school, like even this stuff wasn't even talked about then, and this was like early 2000s. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully generations beyond me will be better because we're starting to have these discussions, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Just be better. Be better and uh not you that has been labeled a problem child, but just be better, everybody. Everywhere in life. Please just be better.
Yeah, agreed. Not everybody fits in the same box, but
No.
uh, you know, everybody has a box. It
Mm-hmm.
just might not all be the same, you know. So just find out what works for you
And don't
and
get
roll with it.
discouraged. Don't
Definitely,
don't
definitely,
get dis
you'll find your way.
Yeah. This is the best. Okay, Battlefront 2, Dark Forces, Spy. Man,
Yeah,
they really get repetitive after.
yeah. I was
There's
gonna say. I mean, I think most of the lists are gonna be pretty similar.
there's so many games, but so little variation on what. I mean, I will give people credit. Some of these early '80s games are probably impossible to. Star Wars on the Famicom, arcade Star Wars. Why is Discord pinging me? Shush, Discord. Um, a lot of this is probably very hard to find.
Yeah,
Same time. No Revenge of the Sith? Come on, that was a great game. PlayStation 2. And phone, I guess. And phone Game Boy Advance, okay. What up? There's
yeah,
so many shovelware DS games too. And Wii games.
yeah. So
Godly amount.
back when the DS was fairly new, I started to go for like a complete DS collection.
Ooh,
That was a mistake.
yeah, I bet.
Uh,
There's a lot of Barbie games in there, isn't it?
there was, but thankfully I'd not bought a lot of those yet. But you know what? At the same time, I did come across a lot of like games that I normally wouldn't have played and were like gems. So I can't say that. Uh, but yeah, there was a lot of games that were just shovelware, and that that era, that end of PS2, Xbox, GameCube, into like the first half of like the 360 era. That was the era where all
Yeah,
the shovelware was like it was because that was like the era of like everything needs a tie-in. Everything needs a tie-in game, and we also need to put this tie-in game out on every system possible, which that means Xbox, GameCube, PS2, Game Boy or DS, depending on the time frame, and then and it's
yeah,
like you have all these systems, obviously different specs on them, so you have different teams doing different systems, so you're gonna have variances based on the hardware for one of them, and
mm-hmm.
then variants on, and like the Game Boy game could be a completely different game whatsoever than what's available on console. So it's like
That's true.
it's yeah, it was weird. I think very few console ports to handheld worked out. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
Although surprisingly, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, those were
Still,
quality ports.
yeah, those are quality. Still hold up. That's true. There's because all I can think of is uh Batman Begins for 2005. It had a Game Boy port, and it was
Yeah,
the Game Boy port is better than the console game. Oh, for at least what I've played, because it's that more
yeah,
tight, compact gameplay, and it's just a little bit better, and it's
yeah.
shorter. You can't beat the good handheld. I mean, Professor Layton, that's my jam. I'm not smart enough for
I,
it, but damn.
I'm telling you, and I'm gonna throw it out there, and this could be controversial, but the Game Boy Advance might be the best console ever.
Oh, in handhelds or
Just
ever?
ever.
Oh,
Just the lineup of games that it had, whether it was like not only just original games, but ports from like Super Nintendo, uh, etc. Like it just had so many good games available for it that it might just be the best overall
oh,
ever. So,
yeah.
but
Well,
hey, people can debate that if they want. But
hell yeah.
Game Boy Advance,
It did a lot.
Game Boy Advance had some bangers, man.
Game Boy Advance. I can't wait to get into like we probably have to break that up into 2 episodes, 3 episodes, to be honest, because there's just so much on those systems. But I can't wait to get into those.
Yeah.
'Cause I know the
Flameser said,
PS2
yeah,
one is gonna take us forever.
Flameser said GBA was fire.
GBA.
Flameser knows.
Oh, so this is a GameSpot video released today, and I'm gonna have it in the background while we keep talking. 1983 Star Wars, eh? Look at that, sexy.
Jedi Arena. No, I
Makes you
totally
want
see
to
what they're
play
going
that.
for though. Like it's the thing that Luke used to train.
Yeah,
The like I mean it doesn't look like a fantastic game. I mean Star Wars droids.
yeah. Man, these games, I just miss. I shouldn't say I miss because I thoroughly enjoyed Fallen Order. I just miss
Yeah.
when games were complete. I don't mind DLC, but you didn't have to rely on the DLC. And Star Wars is probably one of the most exploited series or different types of games that probably ever seen. I, I haven't dived into the Star Trek games, but Star Wars, there's literally, like I said, a game for every single thing you could want.
Yeah, I mean you got to think though, anything that's popular
Yeah.
is going to get that exploitation like that.
Anything that's
Unfortunately.
mainstream popular, because I'm like,
Yes.
there's tons of
Mm-hmm.
video games that they should have been more popular. Final Fantasy should have all kinds. I mean, Final Fantasy does have all kinds of
I was
stuff,
gonna say it kind of does have all kinds.
but not as
um,
much as Star Wars, because there's
oh no! I mean,
no strategy games. I mean, Star Wars are not what I think Final Fantasy is strategy, but there's no like StarCraft game on it. There's no
but yeah,
Diablo
I mean,
game.
but look at like Marvel.
Ah, yeah,
Marvel's kind of in that same boat. It has pretty much every genre of game ever
yeah,
has. You know, there's some Marvel property that belongs in that box. You know,
God,
so or it's yeah. There are properties, but it's there's not a lot of them because
yeah.
there's not a lot that were mainstream enough.
One of my favorite Marvel
So
games, coincidentally, is a DS game. I did a retrospective on it. It was the Thor: God of Thunder, because I did play a bit of the console version, and that was awful. Any of those movie tie-in games that are usually on console are awful, but the DS one,
I
man, that was good.
yeah yeah it was weird. Like some of those DS games that you would think were just going to be trash were just like, you know what? This is actually all right.
Hmm.
Um,
I think
because
that's why
yeah,
we're
I just
seeing like
remember.
Ace Attorney come back with a vengeance.
Oh, Phoenix Wright was great.
Phoenix, it
Uh,
still holds up, man. Though.
yes, and I am so glad that they ported that to like modern consoles. As dumb as that sounds,
No,
um,
because I
but
can't wait for the Professor Layton one.
it's all like high quality art,
Yes.
like anime art. So you can easily port that to a bigger screen.
Yeah.
Whereas like some of those games on DS, there's no way you could port them
Yeah,
just
it's
because of the
ugly.
way they look. Yeah, it'd be real bad. Like,
Ugly
um,
and the two
but
screens.
yeah, Yeah, you definitely have to adjust. Like I know what was I was listening to some podcasts. They were talking about what else like Konami could come out with, and someone suggested that they should bring the GBA and DS Castlevania games.
Oh,
They should port them, which I
yes.
agree. Although they would definitely have to do some changes to the DS ones to get them
Oh yeah.
ported. But the three GBA games could easily uh, come to like your Nintendo
Oh yeah.
eShops, or as a digital release, as a digital collection. Like I would like those are
I'd buy them.
I would. I
I don't even
mean,
have a Switch and I'd buy them.
I love Ario Sorrow
Yes.
a lot. Uh, and
Yeah.
man, this is definitely going off the reservation, but like Ario Sorrow, Metroid Zero Mission got me through my senior year of high school on the GBA. So
Can't
I
believe.
can.
I mean, those games are so. That's when Castlevania was still like a revered series too, because I was just off
Hmm.
the back of like Symphony of the Night, which I'm
Yeah,
glad that when I had Patreon, somebody suggested to play that because I had never played it before. That game slaps,
yeah.
and just
Basically,
all the love.
any game they made that was off of the that was basically Symphony of the Night,
Hmm.
with maybe added stuff, uh, off the back of off the formula that Symphony of the Night had, was really good. The three for Game Boy, the maybe two or three for DS. I can't remember if it was two or three of them.
Hmm.
Um, were all really good.
Hmm.
Like just top quality games, regardless of what they were on.
Yeah.
Uh, and then like it just kind of well then they went into like the Lords of Shadow stuff, and
Yeah.
we're just like it's like we must make this a high production thing. It's like
And
no,
then
you really
ruined it.
don't. Like yeah, it's like I get what they were trying to do with it, but it's like you don't know, like that's
Yeah.
not what Castlevania fans want though. Like
Yeah.
uh, there was there was definitely a time like between like probably 2007 and 2010, maybe a little before, maybe a little after, where everybody was like, we need this to like become the next big thing, the next big mainstream thing, and they basically tried to make their game cool, but trying to make it cool just made their game suck.
Yeah.
Um, or just at the very least be mediocre.
They were
Um,
very cheesy from
Easy,
that
generic,
point on. Yeah.
like it's just like it kind of took away anything that was unique from a lot of different franchises, and just made them just not desirable games, and a lot of game and you can see the what happened because of that.
Yeah.
We lost, and I mean this is a topic we talked about before. We lost like the double A, the B tier game for
Hmm.
a long time, and because those companies brought out games that just weren't really that great, so they didn't sell great. So then they stopped making those games
Hmm.
because they knew they wouldn't sell.
Which damn
So,
shame.
which created like this hole that indie developers were like, well, we're making cool games.
Yeah.
Uh, so they filled that hole. So I mean, really, it facilitated the rise of the indie game, which is a good thing. Because
Yes.
I mean, I'm an indie game developer,
Yeah.
but but it's just it was a weird time. It was like a weird time of transition, and had they just kind of I mean, maybe if they, it's hard to say because I mean, without the right data and facts and everything, but it's like maybe if you just stayed with what you've been doing.
Yeah. It's
I
always the
hate,
big what
but I
ifs.
yeah, but I also hate to be like, well, maybe you guys should keep doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we obviously, innovation in the industry obviously makes everybody better eventually.
Yeah, it does.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, because they strayed off the path for a little bit, we did see a rise of indie games. So was it a bad thing? Maybe not.
Nah,
It's
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 hard
like
to
one of
say.
those things. Yeah, like I would like to say yeah, but I also want a good damn Castlevania game again. Like ah,
Yeah, I
and then
we'll have to dive into Konami soon, because we have all have very strong thoughts about that.
yeah, and I mean it's weird. Like I don't know the right answer. You know,
I don't know if there is, because
uh,
we in
yeah,
hindsight can sit and be uh say all these like, oh, it was great that Nintendo bailed out the gaming industry in the 80s. But what if
yeah,
they didn't? Would we still have recovered, or would we have been better off? Like, it's hard to say things like that because you just don't know.
yeah. Because I mean, even from that example, like if Nintendo doesn't come around, is then because if Nintendo's not there, we don't get Sonic.
Yeah,
Because Sonic was literally created because they were like, we need a mascot that's like Mario,
but
but
then we
different.
wouldn't get Balin either. So I no Balin in this world. I would be okay with that.
maybe, but
Yeah, it's a big what if. I think moving forward with Star Wars, I would love, and it'll never happen because Disney has a forced chokehold on it. Is like a focused interactive style, because Focus, they do Greedfall, they do a whole bunch. Their
yeah,
kind of publishing style of a Star Wars, because it's gonna be story heavy, not so much for the thematics. Basically, I want another like return to form, like with KOTOR and all that, but done in a
yeah,
double B or a double A B style kind of game.
yeah,
I don't think it'll
yeah.
happen.
I'd totally be up for that. I think it'd be fun to see some different genres happening, just in Star Wars. Like say you gave Frogwares, who do the Sherlock Holmes games, like
Ooh,
what if you did a Star Wars detective story? Um,
it could fit.
it's an adventure game, but it's just in the Star Wars universe. Like, I mean, I'd be cool with that.
Oh,
That's the kind of stuff that I'd love to see. Like just them go to like these different developers that do uh really cool types of games in different genres and be like,
mhm.
hey, make us a game.
Yeah.
Um, do I
Damn.
see that happening? No, but
No, Disney
that
will
would
never let that
be
happen.
yeah, that would be really awesome. Um, because I think Star Wars has so much lore, to the point where it could fit anywhere, really.
Yeah.
Like what if you wanted to make like a civilization type strategy game just set in the Star Wars universe?
That would
You
be
know,
so cool.
it'd be awesome. And you
I'd
could
play
even
it.
have you could have different leaders from different eras. Like
That would be awesome.
like do it. I
Damn, that sounds so good. Oh my god. Now you get my hopes up.
you could I mean you can take different eras. Like you could take like the Clone Wars era and
Hmm.
make an XCOM game out of it.
Oh, an XCOM
Like
style. That'd be so
you
good.
can take like these small battles and stuff and or small skirmishes and turn them into like an XCOM game set in the Star Wars universe. Like why aren't we seeing like that's if I were if I were if Lucas Arts video games or whatever the heck their label is right now that is handling that stuff was like, what would you do with it? I would be like, find some developers that can do our games in different genres and see what works and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't all have to be these massive, like 100-hour experiences. You could do a 20-hour like short form XCOM type game, see how
Mm-hmm.
well it does. It does good, you do more. Doesn't do well, oh well, we have this cool game,
Yeah.
that people can play. You
I
know?
mean, judging by the list of games they have, they're not afraid to take risks because there's just
They,
tons of branches off weird stuff. Oh my god.
you could say they weren't afraid.
That's true. Then Disney
Because
came
a
in and
lot of
said
those games,
all of it.
yeah, a lot of those games were done in previous eras where it was LucasArts
Yeah.
in charge. So, but Disney is starting to branch out. They are starting to get other developers. I don't think the EA exclusivity is there anymore.
I hope not. I have a
So,
big problem with EA. But anybody that's talked to me knows that, so
no, and I get it, but I think even with EA they could do different stuff. They could do, I don't know. Let's say they go to Joseph Fares and say, "Hey, you're making cool co-op games. How would you like to do that in the Star Wars universe?"
yeah.
And
See that
and
that
have them make,
would be cool. But we know they're not gonna do that. At
yeah,
least not right now. Ever gonna do that.
no, no, and I mean that's just an example of something cool that they could do.
God, that would be so
Like
cool.
and obviously like for a lot of people, like It Takes Two was great.
Oh, that
Um,
was so good.
and from what I saw of it, it looked great.
It was
Uh,
really good.
yeah, so it's now
Yeah. I think they just need these companies need to I mean, my big problem with EA has always been let's fire 200 people but our CEO gets like $100 million bonus. That's what I'm
yeah,
and I mean EA
and
almost has a
that's
bigger graveyard than Google, which man,
yeah,
Google
but if
really
you
does
look
not
at it,
hold anything.
but if you look at the numbers,
Yeah.
Sony's even worse with
Oh,
shutting down
Sony.
studios.
I don't even bother with Sony anymore, man. I'm
Like
like, come on, guys.
and I think, but that's a problem that's not, it's not endemic of necessarily the corporation. It's just corporations in general,
True.
unfortunately, all have that same issue.
It's not
Because
a
you
loot
look at any
box.
of
It's a surprise mechanic.
the big companies, you look at EA, you look at Activision, you look at Sony, you look
Oh,
at even at like everybody wants to be friends with Microsoft right now,
oh,
which
they're.
like
I'm waiting for
hey,
that shoe to drop because they can't keep
they're
this up
they're
forever.
they're making great moves right now, but we've seen in the past where at the beginning of the Xbox One era where they had barely any studios because they were closing them.
Mm-hmm. They were
So
bad.
like they've been guilty of it too. There's and that's just that's every big company does that, and
Mm-hmm.
and it sucks. It legitimately sucks.
Yep.
But like I don't know what to do to fix that.
I don't
It's
think
just a big,
we can.
yeah, like there's nothing an individual can do other than maybe vote with your wallet. If you're not happy with a company, don't buy stuff from them.
Simple as that,
You
yeah.
know? Yeah, like especially when company at the bottom line, the company is looking to make more money, and if they're not making more money, then maybe they'll pay attention.
Hopefully.
But then at the same time, if they're not making money, they just blame the developers and then let them go.
Yeah,
So it's
it's a mess.
yeah, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's
I think we are reaching a point though that I feel something big happening. I don't know what it is. It's not going to be like the 80s. We're way past that point, but
yeah,
something's going to happen and I just don't know what it is. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but it's that feeling like something is, especially with E3 and people kind of like turning away and being like, "Oh, is this thing really relevant?" Relevant. Something's going to happen. I just don't know what it is. But whatever it
yeah,
is, we support it or we
yeah.
don't.
E3 is kind of like it's such a weird beast now, especially that we're about to get to that. Like it's a month away at this point.
Oh
Like
my
it's
god.
it's
You're right.
E yeah, E3 is that weird thing where it's like as just like a fan of the games industry in general and just someone who loves video games like E3 has very much and so many times been like my Christmas where
Yeah.
it's like I'm the nerd that's gonna sit there and I'm gonna watch all these conferences and being like, yeah, show me more. Give me more of that visual serotonin. I want to see all these games. I want to consume these games. Give me these games.
I mean, there's
Uh,
some great
you
moments that
know,
have come from E3. I mean, Shenmue 3,
but
before we knew that was going to be a disaster, Keanu Reeves coming out, and that's just recent stuff.
yeah, but it's like, but at the same time, like the rational person in me is also like, but do we really need like a
Yeah.
week of this or can we just you know or can
Yeah.
these companies just announce things when they want to announce things because everything's on the internet and you can just do a Nintendo Direct and get
Yeah.
to your audience that way
And
I
90% of it
totally
leaks before the show anyway.
yeah I totally see it from both directions.
Yeah.
Like the old school person in me still wants just a week of it and to just consume it all in that in those 3 days of conferences. But I completely understand the amount of effort that it takes to do that.
Hmm.
From not just a from the publisher standpoint, but from a developer standpoint, because having to make a demo cuts into your actual development time, because you have to slice out a piece of that, and that's not easy
Hmm.
necessarily. So it's definitely going to take time away from that.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, like
Yeah.
there's no right answer, but I completely understand why they don't think E3, why a lot of people don't think E3 is relevant anymore.
Yeah.
Not only that, I mean, there's a whole lot of just bad decisions behind the scenes from the ESA and stuff, and there was the journalism leaks
Oh god, I
that
forgot about
happened
that.
where it's like, come on, guys, like you literally just had it sitting on your website,
Hmm.
how stupid is that? I mean,
Yeah.
that was just plain stupidity. Especially for a company that works in a technology based industry, it's it baffles my mind how something like that happens, but
Somebody fell asleep at the
there
steering
it is.
wheel there. That's
Yeah, like someone was like, "Ah, we'll just put it here. No one will pay attention to it." And it's like, "No, it's the internet. Someone will find it."
Yeah, even if you say no, they will. Look at what happened to Philip Mewson. He stole one review, and he dared the internet
People
to
find
find
out,
more, and they did.
and they did. Yeah, exactly.
They destroyed
Like
that
don't
man.
like don't think people ain't gonna find out. They're gonna find out.
People will always find out. Um, I think we're kind of like reaching a pinnacle of our Star Wars talk because
Yeah, yeah,
we could go into more, but like I said, there's like 80, 90 games that are known. There's tons of spin-off
yeah. I mean,
games. You could be here forever.
I think at the end of the day, we talked about the important ones.
Yeah.
Um, I one that I will give a pretty good honorable mention here. That can no longer be played to this day is Star Wars Galaxies. Uh,
I've heard of it,
Star Wars
yeah.
Galaxies was so cool back in the day. Uh, it was like it was essentially living in the Star Wars universe, in a sense.
Let's
Like
see
you
if I can
couldn't
find
like
gameplay.
it was even very hard to become a Jedi. Like it was like a huge process. As you know, maybe that's how it should be. But so like there weren't very many of them around. So when you saw them, it's like, oh my god, there's a Jedi. Uh,
Oh,
but yeah, it was
so
it
this
was
is from
definitely
2016. I feel
yeah. I'm
like
sure
this is
there
a
might be like
game
a
it that has like a fan made and people have brought it back, kind of like cities, city heroes or whatever that was.
yeah. I would be surprised if there aren't some like private servers out there somewhere of people playing it.
Oh
Um,
yeah. I mean,
but yeah,
this is the BioWare game kind of. Not really, but
yeah,
if you wanted
it's
to.
super interesting. Like
Ah,
it, I remember having some fun with it back in the day.
back in
So
the day
shout
when
out to
he was
Star
a
Wars
young
Galaxies.
boy.
You know, I mean, it was what year was Galaxies? Like 2002. So
Yeah,
what year did
2003,
it come
yeah.
out? Okay, so I'd have been a junior in high school at that point. So
Young boy. Very young man.
so
Yeah, there's just so
yeah,
much Star Wars content, so much Star Wars media, so many Star Wars games, books, movies. I mean, there's tons of movies. But yeah, the games that
TV
go
shows now.
TV shows, exactly. The games go forever, the movies go forever. The TV shows, I gotta watch Clone Wars because I
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
it looks so good. Star Wars is a very interesting series, a very interesting franchise on the gaming front because we just don't know which way it's gonna swing. It could literally go RPG, shooter, uh, strategy. We don't know what the next Star Wars game is going to be. And I'm very interested to see what it's going to be, especially with how good Fallen Order was.
For sure, yeah. And it could go everywhere.
You're right. Yeah,
Make them all.
I hope so.
Make them all.
I
Steal
wouldn't
my
be
suggestions
I wouldn't
and
be
just do it.
opposed to that. Dip into some of the other lore that we never got to experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a ton of different angles you can take. There's a ton of different characters. Um, there's the sky's the limit.
Hmm.
Uh, when it comes to Star Wars. So
And if you have um, Game Pass and you have your EA Play, it's the base EA Play membership. It's not EA Pro, but you have access to a ton. Look at that. Fallen Order is right on top. You have an access to a ton of games. Let me just go EA Play. I know it's kind of like Game Pass where it's different on different systems, but right off the top, Fallen Order. Oh, Anthem. Battlefront 1 and 2 are on here. I know for sure there's a whole bunch of the older games, like for 11, 12 bucks, whatever um, it is. You can go play some of the games we've talked about today. And if you want to get some of the games that aren't on here because they may be locked in Pro or the EA, whatever else they have, Star Wars, the Humble Bundle subscription for the 4th of July for May the 4th sale is on right now, 75% off. It lasts until tomorrow. KOTOR 1 and 2, $10 you can pick them up. A bunch of the Lego games. If you want to get a big bundle, the Classic Collection has a lot of the classic ones. The Jedi Collection has the Jedi Knight games. X-Wing, and the Modern Collection has a lot of these. So that link is in the description. Again, I am an affiliate, so for full disclosure, all that and such. And it's on Steam, so you get your Achievos too if you're one of those people, which I am. I am Floor Hugger. You guys know me. You guys see me. I will stitch the rest of these together. There's 4 other ones. I'm surprised this has held on so long. Thank you for working for once, OVS.
Well,
next,
hey,
right?
I was gonna say we can say hustle was right. All it took was an uninstall and a reinstall on it, and that did it.
I think it was one of the plugins I had, because I had a plugin to like blur the backgrounds and stuff, and it kept saying it was out of date, but I updated it yesterday, so it was like, okay.
Yeah, it makes sense.
This is a Star Wars episode. It was something we could have talked about forever, but at the same time we would have been running over. Next week, I'm just going to give you guys a spoiler of what next week is, because I know you guys will ask me this weekend. We're going to talk about Resident Evil. Mainly Resident Evil Village, but we're going to dive into Resident Evil. I know I'll get tons of messages this weekend. Have you played Resident Evil? What did you think of Big Body Bay? Haven't played it. Probably won't play it, but I do want to talk about it. Might be spoilers, I don't know. So that's going to be next week's topic, and then we don't know what we're going to do after that. Leave us some suggestions. Like I said, you can come into Level 1 Gaming's Level 1 Original, click on the Cogs in the Machine. It has a big thumbnail, and scroll to the very bottom, leave us a little reply, and we'll read it on the show. Same can be said when if you're listening after the podcast. Leave a review, and we will read it on the show. Thank you guys for rocking with us. We are Level 1 Gaming. I'm the Floor Hugger. You can see me tomorrow at 2XP, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. All that goodness. And Trevor, please serenade these beautiful people, because they want to hear you talk more than they want to hear me talk.
No, I think you're the star for sure. So
no,
you're definitely the star of Level 1 Gaming. So,
no.
No. But no, you can follow me at Trevor Oz, OSZ, and yeah, I talk about random stuff at random times, because that's just who I am. Depending on what I'm getting down to today. This week will be a weird week for me. Tomorrow I get my second shot of vaccine. Woo-hoo! So I will probably be out of it for the next couple days after tomorrow. But yeah, go get your shots if you can. It's definitely worth getting. Maybe we'll get to at least a little bit more normal. I don't think we'll be back to normal, but we'll have at least a little bit of more normalcy the more people get it. So
exactly.
But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks, Flames, for being in the chat this whole time. Thanks to Chakalaka, Pirate, Hustle, everybody that comes on through. We really appreciate it. And we'll catch you next week.
Catch you guys next week. And if you ever want to join the Level 1 team, shoot me a DM. Our names are under our little Commodore pets here. And I appreciate it if you guys do. See you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'm running up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'm running up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'm running up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. I wanna ball. Waking up meant that he gave me a chance and I'm rolling the dice. I do it all. Living like I'm trying to go for the platinum trophy in life. Who can you call? Really nobody, so you should just follow me on your device. And know if she chilling with me, then it's bound to be chemical X and the sugar and spice. Game in the system, but game is the hobby. I'm probably cocky, but hot as wasabi. I mean, if it's beef, then you know where to find me. focus is ready and so is my body. You should be running and telling your posse and what's in the speakers and what's in your potty. And she trying to kick it, but this ain't karate. Just keep that shit down while I'm watching Tsunami. I ain't saying I'm a super nerd, but I told you when we got involved, my idea of a perfect date is a PlayStation and some alcohol. I was role playing on GTA. I'm a good guy, but I got it all. If the world should end, be the first to leave, but the last of us acting naughty, dog. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing.